the hallucinogen class. But I saw a Reuters photo, and it said the Army was there, 22 MPs running checkpoints after the shooting. Regular Army. So we called and got the Army colonel on, and he admitted that they were there. And I said, well, that's a violation of posse comitatus. And he said, no, it's not. I said, you were engaging in law enforcement activities. I read him the federal law on air. Well, now the Houston Chronicle, Associated Press, Reuters, CNS News, the Army's doing an investigation of violating federal law. So there you go. I first report the Army's there because I see the photo in Reuters. No other news, just a photo of the troops. We call up Fort Rucker, confirm they're there, put out a report on it. Now, I have the Army following me around. Now, that's who we had following us around when I covered Bilderberg in Virginia last year, was Army in plain clothes. That, too, is a violation of federal law, but they just don't care. So when I sit here and tell you, folks, that we're getting followed around by the Army, people think I'm joking about the FBI calls we get at the office, but who knows how real it is in there running the show. I mean, this is reality, ladies and gentlemen, because we're exposing who the real criminals are that run the government, and they don't like it. Now, the good news is the military and the police, that's where we're learning about all this from. They don't like it either. They know this is tyranny. They know we're the good guys. All right, that said, I started the show saying the $165 million bailout money being spent by AIG, it's tens of billions in bonuses so far with different companies, but the $165 million in new bonuses, the third round since 5.5 months ago, October 3rd with the bailout, got everybody really hot. And then Obama came out last Monday and said, look, we didn't know about this till this week. We are very upset, and I'm going to do something about this because, remember, months ago he got up and said, first day in office, second day in office, he said, look, we're going to punish the people that did this. We're going to put caps on CEOs, which, by the way, is socialism and a very dangerous precedent. And then I read his executive order, and it said all the big bailout companies who got any of the money, they're exempt in perpetuity from following the rules. And that I show the executive order and read it on air and put it in my new film. That's why Monday, when I saw Senator Dodd running around saying, I am so angry at the bailouts, he's been doing this for months, I am so mad about the CEO bonuses and executive bonuses in the billions, we're going to do something about this with new laws to only give them more power. And then it turned out that, of course, into the accompanying bill, Senator Dodd had actually written the part giving him the money and giving him the loophole. See, that's perfect cover. That is perfect cover when he's the one doing it. But then when he got in all this trouble and there was talk of impeaching him by Wednesday, he came out in Bloomberg and said, Obama told me to do that. And here is Bloomberg. Dodd blames Obama administration for bonus amendment. Senate Banking Committee Chairman Christopher Dodd said the Obama administration asked him to insert a provision in last month's $787 billion economic stimulus legislation that had the effect of authorizing American International Group, Inc.'s bonuses, and hundreds of others, I would add. Now, meanwhile, here's a CNN headline from Wednesday. Geithner, I should have known about bonus problems sooner. Now, it's now come out that it was Geithner specifically, and this is in the Obama deception as well, mainstream news, who wrote the banker bailout takeover plan that they then gave to Paulson with Bush that they had passed. See, they work in perfect tandem, like a rowing team or a football team or passing the baton. I mean, this is perfect synchronized crime operation. Now imagine, Obama is still running around saying he knew nothing about it when he signed the executive order and then had Dodd pass the accompanying law. They're saying they don't know about it when they wrote it. And this was no secret. It was all over financial publications with a $787 billion stimulus a month or so ago. I mean, it's in my film, The Obama Deception. I mean, I'm just little old Alex Jones, and I know all about this. So think of the level of deception. And for all you conservatives out there who are loving this attack on Obama, I notice when I listen to talk radio, there's no mention of the Republicans and how they were team players on this. Now, granted, they were the front line. They were the linemen. Geithner and Obama were the quarterbacks. You know, they were the running back and quarterback here, or the wide receiver. They're the brains of the operation. And again, I'm nonpartisan. I'm saying in the left-right paradigm, realize the same offshore banks own both parties. And people still can't seem to get that through their head. And until folks do that, nothing is going to change. But I want it to sink in very, very clearly there. Obama is running around saying, well, that's another thing. People see trailers for the Obama deception, and, you know, there'll be hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of views for the trailers on YouTube and Google. There's all these comments going, how dare you in the trailer show Obama and then show Paulson? You know, Obama was against the bailout. You right-wing fascist? No. That's why we have both of them in the trailers together, because they all worked together. And it wasn't a banking bailout. It was a banking takeover where they could take trillions of dollars secretly and not tell anybody where it was going, or they basically have a pardon for everything they've done. Now, every time you hear about a new bailout or a new stimulus package, it has nothing to do with that. It is hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars, depending on the package, directly into these crooks' pockets. So I'm going to explain again. Researching, watching C-SPAN, making the Obama deception in the last 3 months, we have countless clips of Senator Dodd wagging his fingers saying, how dare them have a bailout, how dare them have bonuses, because, you know, we're like into round 3 now on the bonuses. They have them every month or two. And I had so much evidence against him, I didn't even stick Dodd in there. I'm going to make a little video for the web that has him in there, where he's saying he's fighting all this while he's the guy that was their man in Congress writing it. You know, the Democrats control Congress. They're the ones that passed this, and then Bush shoved it through. So Obama's saying he knows nothing about it when he wrote the stinking thing, and his Treasury Secretary was already in control before Bush even left office. That is on record. Now, even more shocking news straight ahead on the banking front. You think they've raped you so far? Get ready. It's amazing. All this news is off the chart here. We've got to go through it all. Your phone calls are coming up here in a little while at 877-590-5525. That number, 877-590-5525, if you want to get involved on air. And comment on anything I brought up or any other news item or story you wish to discuss. But finishing up with the banking, every time it's been done in Germany and in hundreds of other countries, in Zimbabwe right now, it happened in Argentina 9 years ago. Every time the government starts buying its own debt, they create the fiat currency, and then to supposedly have it backed up with some value, investors and governments buy it. And Bush tripled the size of government. Obama is set in his first year in office to double that again. In his first term, he's set to quadruple what it currently is, so it's just exponential. By the way, I've got a bill here that's gotten a lot of attention in the last few weeks. It's very close to passing, that will ban gardens, fruit trees, chickens. You'll have to have special government licenses and control to have that. You can't make this stuff up. We're being hit from every angle and every side with classical tyranny. The country has cancer. It's called the New World Order. It's called tyranny. So on the heels of everybody being distracted by the $165 million, that is a distraction from the $9.7 trillion that's been stolen by offshore banks with the, quote, banker bailout, really a takeover. But it is not a distraction if you look at how they lied about it. See, they brought this out to make it a distraction, sort of grandstanding, and Dodd and the Democrats, as well as some Republicans, and Obama, this is outrageous. And people went, wait a minute, you wrote it. Wait a minute, you signed the executive order. Wait a minute, you did this. And now the rats are fighting with each other, Dodd saying, hey, the White House told me to do this. Now, if that upsets you, ladies and gentlemen, you should know that Tuesday of last week, the Federal Reserve announced what we already told you 3 months ago. On record. We wrote stories about it because it was in foreign financial publications. And that is that the private Federal Reserve began buying U.S. bonds with U.S. taxpayer money. Let me explain. They create fiat currency, then they're giving it in the bailout, then they buy the bonds and they make the profit. I mean, this isn't just giving them the trillions. They then loan it back to us with interest attached. I mean, boy, that's good work if you can get it. So we have all of that happening and going on right now. And it's being reported in the Financial Times of London and MarketSkeptics.com and other places. Fed planning 15-fold increase in U.S. monetary base. Now, you're not going to get that cash on the ground. Less than 1% of the fiat numbers in government computers and bank computers is manifest by physical cash. You don't get any of this. They're actually tightening down on loans and what you can get for houses or tuition or whatever.